6 o'clock p.m.
Hello guys. Hello guys and welcome back to another video. This is the Football Connect and I'm your host, and we and everything that we want to talk about. Hello Mr. Boss Man, how are you, sir? So there's an interesting thing that we want to cover today. So before we go any far, guys, please do us a favor, hit the subscribe button, like the video if you are enjoying what I'm going to be talking about, and share it on your social media, because I'm going to be covering a lot of things that are so, like you can see in the breaking news. Remember, we are now only left with only 2 days before the Premier League actually begins, so we need to prepare, we need to be ready for everything that is about to come. So as we are doing right now, we are building up to have a little bit more about Chelsea, but I want you guys to confirm something. Can you hear what I'm saying right now? If you could confirm that in the comments below. Can you hear what I'm saying right now? Mr. Bossman, can you confirm with me if you are hearing what I'm saying right now? Because I'm not really sure on the side that I'm working this side, so I want to hear your confirmation. If you can hear me, that'll actually help us a lot. So please do us a favor, like I'm saying, hit the subscribe button, share this video if you would, so that we unite, we become more into these things. So I want to talk about Chelsea today. Remember, Chelsea decided to buy a team. They bought a lot of players, if I might say. They really bought a lot of players, and I think I'm seeing this side that there's a movement that I'm actually clear and I'm actually live. I hope you are hearing me that side. You can always confirm that. Oh, thank you very much for the confirmation. So Chelsea bought a team, guys. Like yesterday, if you watch the Premier League that I was covering yesterday, we discovered that Chelsea bought as much players as anybody can ever do in this season. And as we can see, they are preparing for 2020. Thank you very much for the confirmation. Now I can see that you can hear me. So, like I'm saying, Chelsea bought a team. And after buying the team, there have been some players that have been playing for Chelsea. I'm saying this just looking at it. We are excited. The Chelsea fans were so happy with all the transfers that were done, with all the people who were bought by Chelsea. It was an amazing transfer for them, and I think it is the best team that actually did good business in the top 6 teams of the Premier League. They bought a lot of players, and after buying those lot of players, they made sure that they put the players in the team. So it seems like it's going to be interesting, because now the headache begins. Lampard was busy spending a lot of money, I think around 200 million pounds that he spent this transfer window buying all those players. Now the question comes to mind, how is he going to use the team? I don't know if you have been asking yourself that question. As the Chelsea fans, I want to hear your thoughts and comments down below. Before we move on to the Lacazette, to the Aubameyang story, I want to hear your thoughts and your comments. How do you think Lampard is going to use all the players that he bought this season? How is he going to set up his team, and what is going to happen to Chelsea this season? Because those are the questions that most of the Chelsea fans are not really asking about. They are not asking how is the team going to be set up, and who's going to be in that team, and what is going to happen. Because all this, there are just a lot of transfers that have been done by Chelsea. They bought Timo, Werner, Hakim, Ziyech, and they bought just a lot of players, Ben Chilwell, all of them. I'll show you the list of players that were bought by Chelsea this season. And I'm wondering, I'm looking at myself, I'm like, so what is now the expectation that we now have as the Premier League begins, as we are about to continue with the new Premier League? What is the expectation of Chelsea now? Where should they finish in the season, this season? Where do you expect them to finish after all the players that have been bought, that have been brought to the club? I want to hear that in the comments below, guys. Leave your comments down below. I want to hear what you think. What is the expectation that you have of Chelsea after Chelsea fans are happy and Lampard might not use them first? Oh, really? Yeah, I might agree with what you're saying, that okay, they're excited and they might not use them first. But because remember, they finished the tour number 4 last season, right? And the players that were there, I'm going to show you all the list of all the players that are there, Chelsea, and actually show you the players that were taken out. And you will be surprised, none of the big players that were there in Chelsea were actually went out. Only the Kante rumor that we're hearing, that Kante could be leaving. Yes, Chelsea finished 4th, right? So now my question is this: what is going to happen? Thank you very much for the comments. Say, I really appreciate it a lot. So what are we expecting from Chelsea next season after spending 200 million pounds in the transfer this season, and they are still adding more players. Remember, they want to buy the keeper, Mendy. They are actually in the advanced talk to buy Mendy, so they're still buying more players. What is our expectation of Lampard's boys? What are we expecting from Lampard after buying all these players? What do you think is going to happen? These are the questions that the Chelsea fans are not asking themselves, or even the Premier League themselves. Which one is going to be the strongest Chelsea? Those are the questions that we are wondering. What is happening? Remember, we are left with 2 days, and we'll be seeing them playing with Fulham next. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. How is he going to line up his team, and where do we expect Chelsea to finish this season? All are the questions. So let me show you the players that are there in the Chelsea club right now as we speak, as I'm now putting my other screen, so as you can see me there. This is the team that Lampard has. You see, this is the team. So it's Kepa, and it's all this. These are the players we know. And one addition that when we're talking of the addition, we tell you. So there's Ben Chilwell. This was an addition. He's joining to Chelsea after we have all those defenders, and the Thiago Silva as well. And there's this player was never used a lot, Cancelo. I don't really know about him. There's Hakim Ziyech, who was also addition, and there's still Jorginho and N'Golo Kante, Rose Barkley, Loftus-Cheek, Mateo Kovacic, and all these people are big people that can actually play a bigger role for Chelsea. Mason Mount was amazing, guys. Come on, you have to agree with me. He was just fully amazing last season, and he did provide for Chelsea. So now my question comes to this: what is next for Chelsea? I want to hear the Chelsea fans. I want to hear your comments down below. What are you expecting? What are your expectations from what Chelsea did? Look at this. There was this Kai who hasn't played for Chelsea. We are going to see what he does. Then there's Timo Werner, and as well there's Tammy Abraham. He scored in 16 goals last season. So there are a lot of questions, a lot of headaches for Lampard. But is it a good kind of headache? Olivier Giroud, Carl Adoi, these are good players, youngsters. That way, Lampard. Hello, Mr. Mobin. How are you doing, sir? I just noticed that you just left me a comment there. How are you doing, sir? So we are talking Chelsea as we are building up to the Premier League starting. So before we go to our transfer news, we are covering something about Chelsea, just asking ourselves questions like, what is next for Chelsea after buying all these players, after investing such amount of money in the transfer window with a team that was perfect, not really perfect, but almost perfect. Remember, they finished in top 4 last season, and the way in the major part of the season last season, they were going number 2, number 3, number 2, number 3, exchanging with Leicester. No, not number 2. They were actually a point where they were number 2, if I remember. Can you confirm with that? They were a point they were in number 2 last season, and they went to number 3, and they were just exchanging with Leicester, number 2, number 4, number 3, number 4, number 3, number 4, until now, where they are now buying a full team. Imagine. They're bringing Mendy, the keeper, Thiago Silva, Ben Chilwell, Hakim, then Ziyech, then there's Timo Werner. These are a lot of players that are going to be a lot for the club. At the same time, I'm wondering which is the best team for Chelsea. Can you actually write it down? You guys who are actually on the live stream, if you are still connected, who is actually the best team for Chelsea? Put it there in the comments below so that I read which team is the strongest team for Chelsea. Remember, on the second week of Premier League, they are playing the Premier League champions Liverpool. In the next week, I'm not talking about the first week, they're playing against Fulham. If I'm sure, I think they're playing Fulham. I'm not really sure, but I believe they're playing Fulham. I think you can confirm that for me. They're playing Fulham. Let me check the fixtures. They're playing Fulham, if I'm really, but I believe they're playing Fulham. Let me just check, then come back. So I want to hear your thoughts. Is this a good thing for Chelsea? How are you seeing this playing out for them? How do they benefit from buying all these players that they bought? And how is this going to affect the unity of the dressing room, like the former team, the team that was there before all these people came to take over the situation, The Chelsea fans were so excited. I had a lot of interesting rumors that we are taking the Premier League this season. Can you really challenge for the Premier League with around 7 or 8 players? Only one of the 8 players who has actually an idea of what Premier League is all about. Not an idea. He actually knows the Premier League in bench, but the rest they have no idea about the fast pace of the Premier League. So, like what I was saying, Chelsea are actually playing. Let's see which team is Chelsea playing against. Okay, let's see. Did I just pass Chelsea and they didn't notice? Let's see here. Can you see something here, guys, about Chelsea? Make it so it's dead confirmed. It's Arsenal. Then it's Arsenal. Why are they showing me Arsenal games only? I don't want Arsenal. I actually want Chelsea. Yeah, these are the games, right? On Monday, Chelsea is playing Brighton. I'm being corrected there. They are playing just Brighton. Mr. Elliot, do you think Tottenham will do what do you think Tottenham will do? I'm actually, because of the midfielder that they signed Tottenham, I just believe that before the transfer window closes, they are going to sign a new striker, Tottenham. So with that, I'm expecting Tottenham to actually challenge at least for the top 5, because even top 4, they can actually reach top 4, Tottenham. If Jose Mourinho sets his player well and he gets the signing that he wants, at least a backup for Harry Kane, because I feel like Harry Kane hasn't been in his best. So if he gets a backup of a striker who can actually score goals, I think they can actually finish in top 4 or 3 or 5. Let me just say top 4, top 5. That's what I'm saying Tottenham will be in. You can actually check the video that I did yesterday about the Premier League is back. I talked about Tottenham as well. I'm seeing them finishing in top 5, and it's going to be interesting. I don't know. Let me hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts? What do you think Tottenham will do? Put it down in the comments below. I want to hear what you think Tottenham will finish up. But it's going to be an interesting, guys. It's going to be an interesting window, interesting games that are about to start in terms of Chelsea. Because I was excited about the Chelsea signings until I started getting worried now that Lampard, I think, has overdone it. And with the way and with the history that we know about Chelsea firing managers if they are not doing exactly their best that they're expecting. And I think he has taken, maybe, if I may say, Jose Mourinho's mentality at Chelsea of buying a lot of players, and after one good season, then he just gives out and he gets fired. So we'll wait and see what happens. Thank you very much. You will. Yeah, I believe Tottenham will do very well. And if you have not yet, please do us a favor, click the subscribe button. It helps us a lot. And please like our videos, just like this video, like we are doing right now. You think Tottenham will finish number 4 or 5? Yeah, that's why I'm seeing them as well. Because Leicester, Leicester were good yesterday, like last season. It's almost like yesterday because they're only a few weeks ago. But I don't think that Leicester will be able to challenge more, or will actually be better to challenge for what is about to happen next season, because I believe that the big clubs have now challenged the top 6 that we know of. They are now back in this, and I'm seeing Arsenal. I think Arsenal is gonna be the bottom of the pile, even if they've signed some Gabriel and what. I don't think Arsenal are ready to actually to be in the top 4 or what. So that's why I'm saying that Tottenham might even finish number 4 or 5, like what you just do. So I like that we agree on that one, Mr. Elliot. Thank you very much for watching. So thank you for your subscribe as well, for your like as well. I just noticed that you did put that. So talking about Chelsea, I want to hear what you think about Chelsea also, Mr. Elliot. Tell me your thoughts about Chelsea. After signing this whole team, do you think there's anything that is going to come from this? Because it just points out you need to be worried for your neighbors as well. Remember, Tottenham and Chelsea are just neighbors as well. So you need to be worried for your London rivals. What do you think is going to happen? I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think is going to happen? Because it's going to be interesting. I'm feeling like they're going to lose their claim or the respect that they've got. They're going to lose it. And it's going to be interesting what's going to happen after signing all these good stars. Is the chemistry between the players going to be able to be linked? Is Lampard going to be able to do enough that this team can actually challenge to actually finish top 3 or maybe 4? Because now, with the team that wasn't strong, they finished position 4. With the team, remember, they were not allowed to buy anybody, and they finished position 4 last season. Now with all 200 million that has been splashed all over in the transfer market, buying all these players, how do you see them finishing? I want to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Put it right now. I want to hear it. So, okay, before I focus too much on this news, let me move on to another news that was also, which is taking on the headlines, which is also happening in Arsenal in London. So it means we are not living in London so much. So they're saying that Aubameyang has extended his contract with Arsenal he has added 3 more years to his current contract. So it means that Aubameyang will be with Arsenal until when? I think it was expiring this end of this season. So it means, I think Chelsea needs to challenge for the title. I think they will finish third. Are you really sure? And where do you think players, if they do not challenge for the title, Lampard has to go? That's true. That's what I'm saying. If they do not challenge for the title, Lampard has to walk away. Because you can't spend that amount of money and you don't provide something, at least produce something with the team. Because that was a lot of money. So if they don't at least win it, we expect them, the minimum that we expect Chelsea to do this season is for them to at least win 1 trophy. At least 1 trophy. We don't care which one is it, the Carabao, the what, they need to win a trophy first to excite the fans. At the same time, they need to finish healthily in those top 4 regions, because I don't feel like they are yet ready, unless we see them playing though. I don't think they are ready to actually challenge for the title. That's going to take some time. I feel like the title is still between Liverpool and Manchester City. That's how I see it. But even though, we will never know, maybe we'll be surprised with something that will happen. So we have to wait and see, and we'll keep a closer look on the situation as we move. Remember, the Football Connect is always there, guys, to give you information of whatever that is happening, and we'll tell you what we think of whatever that is happening. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm looking at your charts this side, guys. That's why I'm looking this side. I want to see whatever you're saying, because in this computer I'm just talking and as well trying to give you as much information as I can. So let me move on from this Chelsea issue. We have a lot of issues to cover, remember. What else? Okay, we were talking about the Aubameyang situation. Let me see if I go to the news so that I tell you. So Aubameyang has signed, like they're saying, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has agreed on a new deal, a new 3-year contract with the FA Cup winners Arsenal. The deal could make him the Ghana's highest paid player. So he is the boss, the captain of the club, and he has just signed a new 3-year contract. And I had some interesting comments on social media, or even on this post, people saying that he has actually now signed himself out and is taking himself out of actually challenging for top owners or owners that we can actually respect. After signing this deal, they are saying that he will never challenge for anything rather than that. That's where he's always going to be. He will only win the FA. Remember, Arsenal win the FA a lot. So after signing this new contract, they're saying that people are saying that he's a top player. Yes, he is a top player, but after signing this, he's just accepting that he will never go after anything higher than this. So I want to hear your thoughts also. What do you think? What can you say after Aubameyang signed this contract? What are you expecting from the team and whatever that's going to happen? What do you expect? Because it's actually interesting what is happening. Only 2 days are left for the Premier League to start, guys. Only 2 days, and a lot of things are happening. That's the interesting part. A lot of things are happening. So I want to really hear your thoughts. And as we are talking here, remember, there's a free platform. Whatever you say, I'll always visit. Then we talk about it as in full and in details. So what do you think about the Aubameyang signing this deal? As for me, like looking at where I am, I think it's a good thing for him, but to a certain extent as well. Reason why I'm saying to a certain extent, I feel like after signing this contract with the club, okay, I don't see Arsenal even challenging for any trophies. Maybe the FA, to retain the FA. Remember, they did get the FA, so maybe to retain the FA. That's why I'm seeing them only ending. But rather than any other things that are happening, I don't see them challenging anything. So it's gonna be interesting to see how things changes. We'll keep our closer look in the situation, and we'll keep telling you everything that changes, guys. And we just want to enjoy the Premier League. Remember, it's back now, 2 days. Arsenal is the team I am most confused about. Tell me your confusion. What is really confusing you about Arsenal, Mr. Elliot? What is confusing you about Arsenal? Okay. You know what is happening here again is something that people didn't notice. Arteta is interested in going with the big transfers, big players like Partey. Oh yeah, Arteta can beat the big teams but lose against the smaller ones. It reminds me of Liverpool of 2017, if you remember. Liverpool beat all the top 6 teams and lost to all the small teams. I think Aubameyang can get the top 7 to the okay. Them securing Aubameyang, it's actually a boost. It's a boost for the club. They know that they have the gunman who's very good in scoring goals. If they keep like a Ziyech and Aubameyang and the chemistry continues, that is actually gonna be a good benefit for the team. Something can actually happen. At the same time, looking at if they bring Partey, like Thomas Partey from Atletico Madrid, that could be a game changer. I was hearing some rumors that they're saying that it's something that is happening, but that could be a game changer. Remember, they did the reinforce in the back line by bringing Gabriel, at the same time making sure that their top player who scores very well, Aubameyang, stays their captain with signing a contract, which happened today, which is good news for them. And at the same time, what has Arsenal done though? There's nothing that they've done mostly to actually talk about them to challenge for top owners. That's why I'm saying that they're gonna be in the top 6 or 7. 6 if Everton were able to bring something, because remember Everton brought interesting players, but we want to see how they're gonna be linked out to actually produce something. And also Sheffield United, we shouldn't forget about Wolves and Sheffield. Remember, they've been in this top owners in this top, let me just say, from position 6 going downwards, they've been fighting for those owners for the past 2 seasons. Wolves, if I might say, and Sheffield last season was the biggest shocker for all of us. So it's gonna be interesting to see what Arsenal can do. But we'll keep our closer look. We'll keep looking at it, and we'll keep giving you the information as we go through with the season. Remember, it's about to start, and we wanna see what the new boys will bring also in the Premier League this season as we are starting. So I think it's gonna be an interesting season, if I may look at it. In my personal view, like in my point, I feel like it's gonna be an interesting season next season. And I want to see what happens. But, okay. So, going back to Aubameyang. Remember, I wanted to tell you something. People on the comments, they are saying that because he signed with Arsenal are not going to win any big trophies anytime soon, except of the FA. That's why he's just going to be winning the FA and the Community Shield. I'm just saying some of the comments that I saw, guys. You can check them out on the comments. I think it's Football Transfer News in Facebook. If you check it out, you see some of the comments that were wrote by some of you guys. They were actually interesting. I was really laughing at them, saying that why would they say something like that to a player as good as Aubameyang? I believe that if the Arsenal brings, and with how Arteta has been so good in his tactics, they can actually produce something. We wait and see. What do you think about the West Ham situation, as they do not want to buy anyone and sold key players? Yeah, I was actually laughing when they were about to sell Felipe Anderson. I heard that they're actually thinking of selling Felipe Anderson. So, thinking about it, is that not a way of West Ham applying to be relegated? What do you think, guys? Because they've sold two biggest players, and I haven't seen anyone that they bought. Oh, did they buy someone? Let me check. I didn't see them buying anyone that we can actually talk about in this window. Let me show you what the people that they've sold. So it's going to be interesting, guys. It's really going to be interesting. We have to see what happens. Let me wait for this page to load. I think it's them are just applying for relegation. I feel like they're just applying for relegation. What do you think? Why would they be selling players but not buying players to actually replace? Or they think that they have good players who can actually do the job for them? I think they're just applying for relegation. That's what I think, West Ham. And if you don't accept the truth, that's what I'm seeing there. If you don't like it, it's just your own thing. But in my thoughts, in my own thing, the thing that I think is that they're just applying for relegation, and we have to wait and see for what happens with them. They didn't even buy anybody to replace. Do you think that Arteta may not like the quality of selection in the market? Maybe Eldu or Jaime are being more cautious and strategic. Arsenal not doing that is the best pay the odds for signing. Oh, I didn't really look at it in this situation like you are saying it. That maybe they're doing that as a tactic for them to actually prepare for something. Yes, maybe, but it's going to hurt them bad. You know why? Because look at the London rival Chelsea, how they've done in the transfer window. That is going to actually that's actually going to hurt Arsenal very bad if they don't do something about the situation. Because you'll be wondering what are they expecting to actually benefit in this transfer window if they're not buying good transfer players, if they're not bringing good transfers. I think they only decided to bring the player that went on loan from Real Madrid. Is it who they wanted to see, the youngster who has been so wonderful for them as well? So I don't know, that could be an idea. Maybe they're doing that because they're expecting it's actually a tactic for them, so that we think that they are less, because they've been beating the big teams. They've beat Manchester City and they've beaten Liverpool twice now. Community Shield, Liverpool, we might say that it was in the penalty, but yes, they did beat Liverpool, and that's just the truth. So we have to wait and see what happens, because it's going to be interesting on the development of the case. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So going back to Mr. Elliot's question about West Ham, they only signed Thomas Sekio from, I don't even know, for 15 million, and they've released it. That's all. This player Zabaleta was one of the players who was playing, Carlos. So you see, this is crazy. This is crazy. I think if I was a West Ham United supporter, I would actually be worried now. This cause for worries, guys. If you as a team, you are not even buying players, and you are thinking that you compete with teams like Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, or even, let me just say, the Premier League as a whole, and you are not buying any reinforcement, and you saw that your team was actually in danger last season for not, in terms of how you played, and you still don't buy players, it's going to be interesting. I'm really worried for West Ham. I think they're just applying for relegation. I don't know your thoughts. There is it. It was brought in your comment. It was a comment for you guys, and I just said my thoughts. I feel like they're applying for relegation. They might finish in the relegation if they don't do something. Remember, we are only left with 2 days before the Premier League starts. We are gonna see the good and the bad, and also maybe because the transfer has not yet closed yet, so maybe they might do good business as we move on. But that's gonna be interesting also to see. You think though, Chelsea, that the selection may no signing or bought full youngster and still made top 4. Now they're pushing the youth with these big name signings. Thank you very much, Mr. GK, for the comment. I really appreciate that. Yes, this is interesting. Okay, yes, maybe Lampard was saying, maybe his way or what he was thinking was saying this. Chelsea might be focusing morely. The youngsters might be playing, but they're not playing as enough as we expect them to do. So he thought maybe if he brings the big names, it might actually challenge the youngsters to produce good quality for them, guys, so that they at least go somewhere. But come to think of it, now let's just come to look at it now, guys. These are a lot of players that Chelsea brought, guys. A lot of players, which is actually scary to actually think about. Because at least if he had bought maybe 3 or 4, maybe I might say Kai, then Tommy, then Veda, then maybe 3 players at least. It was going to challenge that locker room. But 7 signings, guys, 7 signings. So it means that most of the players are going to be out, because only 11 players are allowed to be in the team. Only 11. So what's going to happen? That is going to be interesting. Okay, let me read. Conte won the league his first season without the big signings. Winter in only Kante and far better than that team of 2017. Yes, you see, I love the way you are saying this. He did win the league with actually a few players, and some of the players are still there in the team, and he was able to win. Now with all that he has brought, now this is just making it so interesting. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I did think I missed Mr. Elliot's comment there. I think the youth is helpful, as it provides a backbone for their big players. But yes, I agree with what you're saying, that the youth is helpful in terms of how it brings better to the team, that they're able to sign, or they're able to provide better quality out of the youth. But with the way Mount played last season, Tammy Abraham played, and maybe we might talk about Loftus-Cheek. He was really injured, so he played few games. He deserves to actually be playing next season, guys. I feel like what these guys did, they deserve a shirt 100% in the next season. So now, because Lampard brought these big names that he has promised that they should play, they are going to play. That is going to be interesting. That's why I'm saying that's going to be interesting. So I have to wait and see what happens, because he has to develop more, and if he doesn't do something with these big names, and the chemistry of the players all together doesn't work together like it was about to work last season, then he's gonna be fired. He will walk away. He will be fired. Straightforward. He will be fired. That's what I see. That's my take on this thing. Playing the same system as well, Arteta is currently using. I did watch the game against Liverpool, the game against Liverpool. What Arsenal did, they went in the first 10 minutes, they scored a goal, then they came back defending the whole game. So in a way, Arteta is using the Jose Mourinho tactic of defending the whole game. So that is gonna hurt them a lot, because remember, not other teams are gonna be as relaxed as Liverpool were like against them in the Community Shield, and also even in the Premier League last season. So if they're gonna play like that, they might actually benefit with the big teams. Remember, big teams like Manchester City and Liverpool, they like to attack, so they can always beat them in the counters. But imagine playing with a team like Brighton. It's gonna be interesting for Arteta. I'm telling you, this season is gonna be interesting. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens on that one, Mr. GK. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens. Let me read your comment as well. The thing is, though, that hinders their development. There really wasn't a reason to make them. That's my saying. I agree with you there, sir. That is gonna hinder because they already have the good signings, good players that are already there in the club. So what is the purpose of bringing all these big names? Just bringing all these big names, it's going to hinder the development, because remember, the Mount his confidence was this high. It's going to drop because of the signings that this guy made. So it's gonna really be interesting to see what happens next season, guys. It's gonna be interesting, and that is going to hurt Chelsea more, which actually leads me to think that it's gonna be hard for them to be in the top 4. We're expecting them to be higher than top 4 where they finished last season, but with more players that they brought, it's gonna scare a lot of players, the youngsters, and because they have nowhere to go, it's gonna affect them a lot. I don't know. We have to wait and see. And their youth brought measure where England youth getting a look for the national team. Those same names are starting last season are gonna want game time. Yes, that's exactly. You are just agreeing with me. That's one thing I like about this. You are just agreeing. This is exactly my view, because I was looking at Sky Sports earlier today when they were talking about the strongest team of Chelsea. That's when I came up with this title, that after buying the whole team of Chelsea, what is next season looking like for them? Because they bought a lot of players. Yes, they did bought a lot of players, and all of them that are there. And it's good business for the Chelsea fans. I don't know, do I have any Chelsea supporter here who can actually say that he's enjoying the good business that the manager did? Yes, they bought all this lot of players, and now they're hindering the academy, how the development was happening. Because now Chelsea was turning up to be the Chelsea Lampard team that was developing the youth and putting them there in the best team and showing up their best. There's this youngster who played for Chelsea, and I'm forgetting his name. I don't know if you can help me. The one who got an injury, who was playing in the middle, who had taken Jorginho Snare's team. Let me check in the Chelsea team. I'm trying to remember his name. That kid is amazing, guys. But now, because of the signing that is happening, it means that there won't be any game time for him. There won't be any game time for him. I'm actually worried now for the youngsters. If they don't look for playing time elsewhere, like on loan or something, it's gonna hurt them a lot. Lampard, I think maybe that's one thing that shows that Lampard is still an amateur coach. as much as he's developing as a coach, he's still an amateur coach in terms of the signings. You have to actually look at the players you bring in the transfer window and look at your team and say where you want to develop. You don't buy. Okay, defensively, we expected Chelsea to develop, and bringing Silva was actually a step. It was something that was good. We are actually impressed with that. But now other transfers that they brought, just, I don't know. We'll wait and see. Let me hear. Where do you think Pochettino will go eventually? The Pochettino saga, the man who was linked with the Barcelona, the man who was linked with the job for United after they were thinking that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was going to be fired. Juventus also, he was linked with them until they brought Poyo. So, at the moment, if I may say about Pochettino, I really don't know. Because I don't think that Pochettino is that kind of a manager who can come and manage a team like West Ham or lower than that. Because I see that West Ham, the coach will be sacked very soon. Before January transfer, he will be sacked because of not buying. At the same time, I don't really know. Maybe Serie A, if Conte decide to quit in Inter Milan or maybe AC Milan, somewhere there. But one thing that I heard about Pochettino, he said he was interested in playing in the Premier League. So that is going to be interesting to see what happens. So let's wait and see. Let me read what Mr. KG was saying here. Oh, for me, Chelsea must challenge with those signings. Conte that didn't get that money and won the league. Sarr got the man and won Europa. Yes, yeah, they need to sign. Remember last season what we were doing? We were feeling sorry for Lampard because of what had happened. I remember Lampard faced the situation of that he came to a club where they were banned. Actually banned. And we were talking about the Pochettino. I think that Lampard, if he doesn't do something up to January, he might be sacked and maybe Pochettino might come and take over. That is going to be a fairy tale and interesting thing for the Tottenham fans if he comes for Chelsea. We'll wait and see what happens because I feel like Tottenham fans and the Pochettino, it's not yet done. They're still in love with that coach. So we'll wait and see. But that is going to be interesting. Let's see what happens. Hudson Odoi, that kid is just amazing talent waiting to happen. And okay, he had an injury last season, so he didn't play as much as we expected him. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with him because now his position has been taken with with the players that have been bought now. Tammy Abraham and Timo Werner and Giroud. What is going to happen there? That is going to be interesting, Mr. GK. We don't really know what's going to happen there. So we'll wait and see. Pochettino may be United. You think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be sacked? With what he did with Manchester United last season, I think that gave him an extra season. So maybe he might go to that side. Yeah, Pulisic, unlike most of the youngsters that are there at Chelsea, before I go to Pochettino with the United, I don't think his jersey is actually threatened though. I don't think that will be challenged as much. So we'll wait and see what happens with him. I don't think his jersey will be challenged because he's really good. You did see the game against Liverpool when they won. We won 5-3. It was an interesting game, so I don't think that will actually hurt him that much. But others as well, like Tammy Abraham, that are going to be affected as much. And Pochettino at United, that could be something that can happen with Ed Woodward, but I don't think they are yet to give up on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer just yet. I think there's still a season for Ole this season after the signing of De Jong. We have to see what it does. And I think we have to agree, all of us, the signing of Bruno was the game changer for Ole, so he bought himself some time to be there. Poche to Chelsea, if Chelsea not happy with Lampard the next season. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I think they might go for Pochettino. If they don't go for maybe one of their legends as well, like what they did with this guy. But we have to say, Mr. Elliot, you are thinking of going. Oh, thank you very much for being with us, guys. Thank you very much. I enjoyed all your comments, and I think if I did answer very well, you can always leave it in the comments. Thank you very much. Take care, be safe. Oh, you're actually being thanked by somebody, by Mr. GK right now as we are talking right now. So, that's all we have to talk about, guys. Did I leave up anything? United, I don't think yet for Pochettino, like I was saying, but yeah, Chelsea, it could be it could happen after signing all these players, because remember, for Frank Lampard to get all these players he got, he promised them full game time. He did. He promised them game time. I'm sure about that. He was telling them that come to us and you get game time. So he has to provide the game time. And guys, please do us a favor, click the subscribe button. We're enjoying. Remember, we are only 26 subscribers. I think you can see that. So please help us to grow by subscribing and sharing this video to all the people on your social medias. And if you are interested to continue this conversation, there's a group that is there on Facebook which is called the Football Connect. You can also check it out, so that we discuss more about the Premier League as it's starting, what you think about the teams that didn't do business, like West Ham, for example, like Liverpool, who only bought one player and one player was a backup for a player. It's really interesting what is happening in this window. So also let me hear. To be honest, United don't seem to have a plan. To me, with the direction they want to go, it's just a big signing Van der Beek. I think it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it signing on just a player playing over the odds of. Okay, that is an interesting look. I to say honestly, I never looked at it in that manner, but not thinking of it. Yeah, there really is no direction for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know what he was saying was this. He was saying this, Ole. He wants United board to back him with signing players so that he can actually challenge for the Premier League next season. And it seems like the board, they failed with the Jadon Sancho issue, which is refusing to go away from the transfer issue. In the transfer market, they're still talking about Sancho. Now they're saying that they've been in agreement with who? With the agents, but Dortmund are saying that nothing is happening with that. If they had bought Jadon Sancho, maybe I would look at it differently, but they didn't do that, and they bought Van der Beek. Yes, a good signing, but what is going to happen? Because the problem is not actually with the midfielder for United. Pogba, Bruno have been doing so well, and now with this one, they're saying they're gonna be playing a diamond. That's what I heard. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, because I really don't know. And the youngster, Greenwood, is really coming so well. If he wasn't busy bringing girls in the international thing like what he was doing in the international game. But he's really coming so well. So it's really interesting to see how this is going to play out, Mr. GK. But we wait to see. Bruno was good, but a lot of United fans I have spoke to said he really isn't that good. You know what? Okay, I agree with what you're saying to a certain extent. Bruno is good. I was watching the game in Portugal. The passes he was doing, they're just amazing. And also the Premier League coaches, like I always say, they hadn't found a way to deal with the player yet. They didn't know what he can offer, but now they've seen him, and now they'll get to actually analyze him. It's gonna be hard for him next season. It's actually gonna be a challenge for him next season. We'll wait and see. Remember, we always like to cover this information. We'll give you information about it. They have spent nearly $500 million since Mourinho. Yeah, we know. Mourinho always spends money. We knew that party, the Pogba deal, or the Lukaku, the Alex Sanchez, who actually came out last week or a week back saying that after first training with the United, he wasn't impressed. Yeah, Mourinho always spent money. Now they are trying to do it differently, or maybe they are trying to adopt the Liverpool transfer tactics. Now with the social, a man who doesn't know anything about it. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I'm actually laughing as well. They've spent a lot of money and they expected something for them. And Mourinho did win the Europa Cup for them, and that's it. They're winning the Europa Cup, something that we don't really respect at all. So what can we say? But just to laugh about it as well as we are doing right now. But it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. So the teams to look out for next season. Okay, in terms of the good teams to look out for, I'm saying I can't say Chelsea because I'm not really convinced. Tottenham, I think with that signing that they did good business though. In fact, I think because Jose is limited with the money he has at Tottenham, he's actually thinking so well in terms of the signings he's doing. He's not just rushing, and he's bringing good players, and he has to let players out for him to actually develop. So if Sergio Aurier goes, he brought Matt Doherty as well, right from Wolves. So that was a good signing. And the midfielder, the one who came from Southampton, whose surname I still cannot pronounce. Funnily, I don't know why it's really hard for me to pronounce that one. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happened. We'll wait and see, and we'll just keep our eyes on the situation. Keep looking at what these guys are gonna do. Remember, I'll be here for the watch-alongs of some of the games that I'll be able to do for you guys. At the same time, we'll be talking after games. We'll be doing the discussion after seeing the first games. Remember, it's only 2 days left. So, which team do you support, Mr. GK? I want to hear which team do you support? And Mr. Elliot as well. Put it in the comments. I want to see which teams do you support and what you're expecting from your team next season. I want to hear that as well. So, it's going to be interesting. Liverpool. Oh, we need to talk about those. So, that's something that I'll cover on another video. I think Everton is interesting, but I don't rate Decore. Oh, we have different looks on that one, sir. Because unlike you, I read Decore as one of the good signings that Everton did. You know why you were not able to see Decore in the transfer like last season is because, yeah, I have to agree with that. Newcastle did some interesting business. Let me do something. I need to remove something here. Oh. Okay, all this. So Newcastle did some interesting business as well. Did some new goods business. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I think they're gonna challenge for the top owners, even to win at least one of the small cups like Carabao Cup or even the FA Cup, if they're able to beat the big teams. So Newcastle did so good, but Decore, like I'm saying, I really did rate him very well. I think he was just playing for a lower team. So let's wait and see what happens next season for him. Let's give him at least one more time for him to prove himself. That is going to be interesting for us. Let's see. Let me see if I've missed up anything. Finally, I got a goal scorer to help Maxim. Oh yeah, exactly. Arsenal, I don't know what to expect, but top 4 minimum for me. Yes, like I say, Arsenal give them if they sign Thomas Partey, 100%ly, I'll agree with you that Arsenal will be a team to actually watch more for. Guy, it will be very good for them if they sign Thomas Partey. I feel like if they have somebody who can stabilize the midfielder for them, then maybe Arteta might have a plan to actually hurt even the smaller teams. And you know, Aubameyang, give him a chance, he can score against any team any single day. So because they've signed him, that's a good thing for the club. Yes, but we have to wait and see what happens with them. Do you have any other questions before I go off? Because I need to prepare as well. I think I'll come back again with another video where we'll be covering what do you want to cover later? Where we'll be covering the transfers of today. I'm gonna do it later tonight or maybe earlier in the morning. I want to cover all the transfers that has happened today because there are some new developments in terms of the Jadon Sancho situation. I don't even know why we're still talking about Jadon Sancho. At the same time, there's actually information about who as well. I just might be start experiencing James to do madness if Ancelotti can revive the same form he got at Timo at Real Madrid. Yes, James Rodriguez. Yeah, he has been on a lower form recently, but I think like what you're saying, he needs somebody who can actually resurrect him. And Ancelotti seems like he was the man who understood him better at Real Madrid. So let's give him time. But as well, one thing that we have to understand about this, if he was struggling in La Liga and in Serie A and in Bundesliga, it's going to be very hard for him to actually understand the Premier League, the way we play in Premier League, because Premier League is a different animal. I think we all know that Premier League football, we can rate it with other leagues as well. That's what I think. So it's gonna be hard for him, James Rodriguez, but I think if you give him time, and maybe Ancelotti has a plan because he has already experienced the Premier League as a manager, and maybe he has a plan for what he's expecting to happen next season. So I think we might give him more time, and because he now has players like Decore backing him and giving setting target. Let's see what Ancelotti will do, how he's going to set up his team. Let's see what he will do. That's what I can only say. Let's see what he will do. But it's going to be interesting. Everton, I don't really like to... It's going to be interesting, I have to say. It's just going to be interesting. That's my thought. So, okay. Don't forget to click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share this video on your social media with those people who you are having arguments with the Premier League. Let them hear my view of the story and whatever you think as well, as we were talking, right? Do that. It helps us a lot so that we grow. But I think the Premier League next season will be interesting. But one final question for you. Which team do you think is winning the Premier League next season? Just curious to find out. Which team do you think is going to win the Premier League next season? At the same time, which team do you think it's finalized, it's being relegated next season? I want to hear that. Which team do you think is going to be relegated next season? I just want to hear that. I'm checking on your comments if I've missed out anything, but I don't think I did. I don't think I did. Yeah. We'll wait and see on that James as well issue, but as I wait for you, let me see. But in terms of the big two teams, Manchester City and Liverpool, Manchester City did well bringing Nathan Ake to the team. I think that was good transfer news for business for them, because they were lacking. I think Ottoman and Stones were making a lot of mistakes, but also they are losing a small defender. Oh, Manchester City, I have to actually agree with you, but to a certain extent, I don't know how much is Nathan Ake going to do in the defense. West Ham and Fulham and Leeds. I did say about Leeds as well. I feel like Leeds are just panicking like what Norwich did. So of course Leeds are gonna be relegated. West Ham, because they think that they're the master of this Premier League, they've got it all figured out. They're gonna be relegated. Oh, Mr. Elliot, you are saying that West Brom, not Leeds. Oh, you think West Brom will actually go, not Leeds? Why? You know why I'm saying Leeds? Leeds, I think they're panicking a lot. They're buying a lot of players. They're doing like Chelsea. Remember, they've got a good team that was working for them in the championship. And to come and destroy by buying as much players as they have done, that is going to hurt them a lot. I don't know. That's my thought. That's what I think. And also West Brom. I really don't know how West Brom was exactly. But we'll wait and see what happens. But as for me, one thing that I'm sure, West Ham, with what they're doing, they're being relegated. With losing big players and not bringing good players, they're being relegated that's for effect. They need to do something for them to actually be somewhere. But if you are saying Leeds will stay up, Mr. Elliot, we have to wait and see. Oh, relegated West Brom, Brighton and Aston Villa. Wow, you are giving me a new interest to look at this. I haven't looked at Aston Villa because they were almost relegated and they didn't do exactly well. And they might be losing Grealish if it's yet to be believed. We have to wait and see what happens, but that's going to be interesting to see. But okay, let's say that we leave Leeds. We say that Leeds are not being relegated. I get you, but I think Pascal can keep Leeds up. Yeah, he's a good coach though. I've heard a lot of things about him, that he's really a good coach. They should have been promoted last season, right? But they decided to give it up to which team? To Norwich and the teams that were put in the team. But we'll see. I think he will be able to do better. Let's see what happens. As you're saying, I think you have faith in Leeds staying up. But that's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Because, like I'm saying, there are other teams already who are strengthening so good, who are doing so good, and they're going to stay in the game. Like teams like that, I'm sure they're going nowhere. Teams like Newcastle is going nowhere. Everton, who even think Everton will be relegated? Which team as well? Sheffield. I don't think Sheffield will go just yet after looking for a keeper, because I think them losing Dean Anderson is going to cost them a little bit, but we have to wait and see what happens there. Which other team am I forgetting? Oh, Crystal Palace, they're going nowhere. That team, I see Crystal Palace not going anywhere, especially if they're able to bring Batshuayi to the team and they're able to use him together with Zaha and other team. Barca never won anything though, but we'll see. Yeah, he has never won anything. I think he won the championship. Or am I wrong? He didn't win the championship. He was promoted as the best team, right, by winning the championship. So we have to wait and see on that one. But yes, he has never won a big honors like we expect big clubs to do. But we have to wait and see. Yes, I had the same thing. That he's really good. He's a master tactician. There was actually a point when I had people saying that Messi could actually go to Leeds. Which was actually a joke. They were saying that because of how good the manager is, he might actually go to it.
7
to Leeds. But we have to wait and see what happens.
PM.
We have to wait and see what happens. But it's gonna be interesting. This Premier League, guys. Let me just say, let's see the first week. How it goes, and we'll get our reaction on that. So guys, tomorrow I'll be back giving you my predictions for the first opening games that are gonna be played on Saturday, and let me just say, for the first week of the Premier League, I'll be giving you my thoughts and why I'm saying this team will win, and I'll give you all that I'll be saying. So expect that. I think I'll do that maybe around, let me just say, I will set a reminder so that you can always look out for that, so that you actually know the actual time when it to come. We'll be talking about it, and I want to hear your thoughts as well on the next. Then when Saturday comes, I'll be doing a watch along for one of the games, and maybe it's gonna be the Liverpool game against Leeds. We'll see what happens. Then I'll see how many games I'll cover in terms of the watch along, so that we actually enjoy, and we'll hear your thoughts as you see the games going, and I can see if others can change some of the comments that they were giving us right now on this one. But as of that, I think we have now actually reached, they won the championship, but I get what you mean. Yes, they did win the championship. That was only all, but winning bigger trophies, he has never. Let's give him time. Remember when Klopp came to Liverpool, he had actually won nothing, if you remember. He had only won the league at the Bayern Munich, but he was able to win the championship. He went and he failed and actually won the Champions League. Now he won the Premier League after 30 years. So you never say never. That's what I believe. I'll see you tomorrow, Mr. Ellison. I'm looking forward to it. Yes, I will make sure that I'll be there. I'll make sure that you see it, guys. But thank you very much for tuning in, and thank you very much for your comments. You made this video interesting with your thoughts and everything, and I hope you were actually satisfied with some of the response that I gave. And as well, as I was saying, please don't forget to share this on your social media. Invite other people who are interested in football like I am and like you are, so that we become more and we enjoy more about this transfer and whatever that is happening in the world of Premier League. But thank you very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow, or maybe later, with the transfer segment if you are interested in it. But in terms of the Premier League, I'll see you tomorrow when I'll be talking about my predictions of the first games and why I'm saying those, and I'll hear your prediction. Bundesliga. So with Bundesliga, with me this side, I still have problems because I cannot really cover some of the games this side, but I'll see if I'll be able to find a way of covering the games that I covered. To tell you the truth, the guys that I'm 100% sure that I can cover in terms of leagues, it's the Premier League, the Champions League, of course, the Premier League, La Liga, and Serie A. As of Bundesliga, the provider that gives me the games has not yet got the chance to cover those, but we'll make sure that we try to do so. And if you have some teams that you are interested in other leagues that I've talked about, we might actually cover them in a segment about La Liga, looking at how it's looking. I think maybe tomorrow I might do something maybe in La Liga, talking about Barcelona, Real Madrid,